Okay, my name is Maggie Walsh, and my co-producer is Colleen Spiegelhoff. We welcome you to our webinar on three-person positioning. With this presentation, Colleen and I are hopefully covering the topics you need to review with a three-person crew. The three-person system has special challenges that are not seen in the two-person system. Colleen.
Sorry, go ahead.
Click. Okay. The purpose of using the three-person officiating crew is to add another dimension of field coverage to the game and therefore make the game safer. Okay. All right, I just lost the screen. Wait a minute. I got it back. In the two-person system, we have a lead official and a trail official who basically split the field in half lengthwise and overlap in the middle third of the field. When play is in the CSA, the lead is responsible for on-ball calls for most of the area, and the trail generally covers off-ball. In the three-person system, coverage is further defined. A or B serve as lead in their end of the field when the ball is in the CSA, and a deep trail in the opposite end. In this situation on the slide, A is lead, C serves as a second lead and picks up the ball when it's on her side of the CSA. C will be off ball or a second trail when the ball is on lead side of the arc. B is the deep trail here, and she is responsible for all off-ball fouls. We're going to go through the three positions and do them individually so you can get a feel for how they move on the field. The three positions will rotate through in a three-person game are as follows. Let's take a look at the A position. Here is her basic assignments. Leading to her right, these will be quite familiar to you because these are your lead responsibilities and positioning in the two-person system. Okay, let's get rid of B and C for now. Position A will lead to her right as normal in the two-person system. And then when the ball goes to the other end, she will serve as the deep trail when the ball goes to the B end of the field. This should be familiar as this is the same assignments as in the two-person system. The next position is B. We'll have the same assignments as A, but here's where it gets tricky. You have to learn to do your lead to the left. She will lead to the left, trail to the right. Okay, let's work with B. B position will lead to the left and will serve when the ball goes to the other end of the field. She will serve as a deep trail. Now C has different assignments. She's a second lead and a second trail. She escorts the ball in transition and does all the draws. Let's eliminate A and B. C will conduct all draws and will act as the second lead and a second trail in both CSAs at both ends of the field. So she will be a lead when the ball comes to her side, and she will be a trail when the ball goes to the far side. She will escort the ball down the field while A and B are adjusting to the direction of the play. Because we are working as a unit of 3 and not 2, we will see more fouls simply because we have more eyes on the ball. Seeing the big picture will also help us determine not just the play at the ball, but the next possible play and be prepared for it. We also have opportunity to better manage the game. Big picture is your focus as a single official. The bigger picture should give you a wider view of the action around the ball. Notice the difference between the width of vision and the game coverage on each picture. On the left, the official is focused on the ball and 2 players. On the right, the official can see a wider frame and has better understanding of what the player with the ball is doing, but also what a wide range of players around her are doing. And here, with the addition of an additional set of eyes, we as a crew can add even more visual space and help with the play around the ball. Our bigger picture here demonstrates that while one official is on ball, the other will be able to see those off-ball fouls that might be overlooked or missed in the 2-person game.
Hi, this is Colleen Spiegelhoff. I'm going to take over for a little while now and talk to you about boundary coverage. C will have the entire sideline on the far side of the field and will assist each lead with the Coffin corner on C's side. The lead, A or B, will have the end boundary on her lead end of the field, as well as share the side boundary on her side of the field. The deep trail, either A or B, will be responsible to move to the boundary to assist the lead with calls deep in the lead's end and headed to the side boundary. If the deep trail moves to cover this call, the lead can stay in closer proximity to the goal and be in a position to make a call should a quick pass put the ball in the CSA. C always administers. A and B are watching both the players on the circle for early entry or off-ball fouls, and the players on the restraining line who cannot cross until officials signal possession. As you know from the 2-person system, it's a lot to manage, but the additional set of eyes on the field makes it much easier. There are times when A and B may need to discuss who's watching which players on the circle. The players may set up closer to B, for example, but A may have a better angle to see between the players and make a call for an off-ball foul. C will restart all illegal draws. If one team draws illegally, C will set up the free position and will restart the play with the whistle. Oops, I'm sorry. What if both players draw illegally? What if a push occurs at the restraining line? Where is the restart? Any fouls during the draw are set up at the spot of the ball. As you know, if the red team draws illegally, but the blue team commits a push foul on the circle at the same time, the foul's offset. The alternate possession takes place at the spot of the ball. The direction the ball is headed will determine who restarts play. Discuss restarting play in the midfield. C will restart play in her third of the midfield lengthwise. C will set up the free position and be even with the ball to restart play and then escort the ball down the field. In this situation, C will set up the foul and give A the opportunity to get ahead of play and have the play transition towards her into her CSA. C will then restart play. B should begin to get a count for players over the restraining line to be sure no one from the attack team goes off sides or that the defenders pressuring the ball go off sides. B will follow behind play. When fouls occur on the AB side in transition, the new trail should come up and release the lead. This procedure is used on fouls in the midfield as well as sideline boundary calls. In this situation here, A has made the call. When B moves in to restart play, headed towards A's end of the field, A gives the pertinent information to B, the player foul, the number of the player to go behind, etc. and then moves towards the CSA to get in a position to receive the play. The C official in this scenario should have a player count for offsides. If A and B are focused on the restraining line responsibilities. When we're restarting play in the middle of the field, it depends. The ball is in the center for the restart. Who does the restart? As you've heard us all say countless times, it depends. Ask yourself these questions. Where is the ball going? Is it coming towards you or moving away from you? How are the other players positioned? Move to be in position to see the ball and see between the players prior to the restart. How have the teams been playing? If it is a very physical game, you may need to stay closer to catch play on body fouls, checks in the sphere, etc. Again, depending upon which way the ball is heading, the trail and C need to be aware of the restraining line count and be prepared to call offsides if necessary. Once we decide which way play is going, C may look to B and be able to release the restart to B and get a bit of head of play for her to escort the ball down the field. Of course, this may also apply when the ball is going in the other direction. In that case, A and C will make the decision. The release of the restart does not need to be a lengthy discussion. The officials will make eye contact and let each other know, either by a subtle point towards your partner, saying you have it, or a subtle pat on your own chest, saying I have it, who will restart. Communication should be quick so play can restart.
Now we are down with play inside the CSA. Note the arcs of movement on the slide. This is the general movement of the officials in each position. They will, of course, move in relation to the location of the ball. Note in this position, C will cover free space to goal. A is off ball, while the B lead is on a high tangent. So they're all in relative position to the ball. Now, A will cover free space to goal. C is off ball, while B is in a low tangent. Each official's responsibilities may change when the ball moves within the CSA. For example, the free space to goal call will move from C's responsibility to A's responsibility as the ball moves across the CSA. The general positioning of the officiating team inside this third of the field at each end. B will adjust from a high to low tangent, while A and C will move to cover free space to goal and off-ball fouls while making sure there are eyes down the middle of the arc. In the next slides, note where the ball is and how the triangle changes shape and the area it encloses. The size of the triangle is dependent on the way the teams are playing. If they are playing tight to the CSA, the triangle is smaller. Follow the ball and then look at the triangle. If the teams play a very wide attack, the triangle will be larger. Note that A is covering the middle of the arc, while C is on ball. B has moved to a higher tangent. The triangle will shift based on where the ball is on the field. Make sure the middle of the arc is covered as demonstrated by the movement of C and A as the ball moves across the arc. A here is responsible for free space to goal.
Oops, sorry.
You will note that the lead is adjusting to the ball. The deep trail A and C are adjusting relative to the ball and each other. As we go through the slides again, let's look at the movement of the triangle and the ball. Is the middle of the arc covered in each situation? Is the lead moving correctly in relation to the ball? We must be clear that there is not one spot that you have to always be. It depends. The warning symbol on the screen will be seen on other slides. This means it depends, and positioning and responsibilities demonstrated on this presentation may flex according to live play. Here we are giving you the general locations and duties. X does not mark the spot.
Now let's discuss areas of coverage in the CSA. Lead is in pink, on ball here. C is off ball, but is ball aware and ready to pick up the ball should it transition to C's side. And deep trail is off ball. We should emphasize that there are no lines on the field that says this is where you stop looking. Areas of coverage can and should overlap in the three-person system. It depends on where the ball is in the CSA. Each official has specific responsibilities with each changing position of the ball when it is in the CSA. Lead, and when the ball is on lead side, would have on-ball fouls, goal circle fouls, and fouls after the shot. C will have mostly off-ball fouls. And deep trail in this situation would have a shooting space call and off-ball calls as well. As we go through the next slide, pay particular attention to the underlined responsibilities and that warning sign again. Oops, it depends. Where is the ball? Where are the players? It's a lot to consider when officiating in the CSA. When the ball moves to C side, responsibilities and priorities shift. Who is on ball? On ball. Note that it's at the top of C's list and the bottom of lead's list. Also note that these responsibilities may vary a bit depending on the play. If the offense is stacking players on C's side, for instance, C may be in the best position to see an off-ball pick and make that call. If the ball is in the middle of the arc, officials will shift to maintain the triangle and cover the CSA. Depending on the ball's movement towards C side or towards lead side, fouls in the middle and above the CSA can be covered by C or deep trail. Another warning here, these responsibilities are not written in stone. We are all here to help each other. If one of us is drawn into an unusual situation, our partners are there to cover and help us get it right. Oops, Maggie, I'm sorry, that's you.
Another thing that's a little different in the three-person game are restarts. We have to coordinate between the three officials who will restart play in the attacking end of the field. We covered restarts in transition and the middle of the field and releasing and letting people get ahead, but now we're restarting in the attacking end of the field. Restarts for the end line boundary and fouls below the goal line extended are generally the responsibility of the lead. It makes sense because that's where she is. In settled play, inside the restraining line, the deep trail will cover the side boundary, both making the call and possibly restarting play. Eye contact with the lead is important to determine if the lead is ready and possibly wants to do the restart. Eye contact is always necessary with all officials to determine readiness. C will restart play in her general third of the field inside the restraining line, including her sideline. Again, always make eye contact with the lead before you restart, or to see if the lead wants to take the restart. Inside the CSA, the lead will restart play. Always check eye contact with your partners before you restart anywhere on the field.
I got
it.
Go ahead.
I got it. The coffin corner is a tricky space on the field where officials need to work together to make the call and to restart play. In the pregame, officials can discuss which official has the best look between the players to make a call if necessary. Restarting in the coffin corner depends on which way the ball is going. If the ball is staying in the attack with the attacking player, the B lead may want to start play. If the ball is awarded to the defender and therefore is now headed upfield, the B may still want to start play so C can move upfield to exchange the restraining line or take the restraining line from A. Always look to each other before you assume it is or isn't your responsibility.
As you've seen, there are numerous changes when you go from a two-person system to a three-person. Coverage and general role in the game are all constantly changing. You need to be clear as to your responsibilities as A, B, or C, and know how those responsibilities shift as play progresses. Based on what you now know about the three-person system, how is the pregame different than the two-person system? Some topics remain the same, like communication and coach interaction, while others are specific to the three-person system. A good three-person pregame covers a lot. You need to discuss shared areas of coverage, communication between officials, and communication with the coaches. Discussion on shared areas of coverage includes the draw. Who's counting the proper number of players for each team? Who's watching players on the circle and monitoring early entry? In the CSA, how are we helping with free positions? Handling false starts. Are we flagging them or are they an immediate whistle? And end line coverage in the coffin corner. How much help do you want from your C? Between C and trail, be clear on how to manage play near the who will pick up the ball, who will watch the line for offsides. And middle of the arc coverage. How are we managing shooting space right down the middle? And finally, off-ball fouls. In transition, who is watching off-ball? How will deep trail help to set up the free position setups and off-ball responsibilities in the CSA? Communication between the three-person system. In managing with midfield play, what do we do with double whistles? How do we communicate who restarts in shared areas? Discuss the need for eye contact. As Maggie said, it's very important and it needs to be done. Discuss restarts, boundary calls, and fouls after the shot, and make sure that we're checking in with each other before we restart play. In terms of boundary coverage, is the deep trail getting wide to handle the sideline calls so lead can stay closer to the CSA? With the restraining line, discuss how to hand off the line. Who does what for setting up offsides fouls? And off-ball responsibilities. Making sure the important information is conveyed and handling off-ball play in the CSA. It's also very important to have a discussion about how we are communicating with the coaches. A stick check is requested. Who's performing it? If there are questions during play, how do we respond and when do we respond? And how do we share that conversation with our partners? If we have a problem with the coach, we need to share any warnings that are given and discuss efficient card administration. And finally, game clock awareness. Making sure calls are consistent and we are using cards effectively and following proper procedures for injuries, timeouts, and overtime. Now you've learned the basics of the three-person system. And once you work the three-person system, you really never want to go back. As Patty Daly says, uh-oh, where did it go? There we go. Work together to get it right.
Thank you.